Chapter 1. The Lighthouse. Leaning against the railing of the old lighthouse, William let the wind whip his hair while he stared at the endless expanse of water. The sea always looked the same, and yet, somehow, it never failed to hold his attention. Today it was a restless blue-gray, restless as he felt inside. Waves rose and fell, glittering under the last hesitant rays of the afternoon sun. In the distance, sails dotted the horizon, white triangles heading homeward toward Ravenshire's harbor. His eyes followed them instinctively, wondering what stories those ships carried, tales of distant lands, fat fish hauls, and captains who weren't so worried about an absent-minded apprentice. The wooden planks beneath his boots creaked when he shifted his weight, a sound he had grown so used to that he barely noticed it anymore. For years this lighthouse had been his world, a cylinder of stone rising above the rocks and tide, pools like a solitary finger pointing to the heavens. To most people the lighthouse was a beacon of safety, a watchful eye in the darkness. To William it was both a home and a cage. He was 12 when they brought him here, and now, at 17, he was starting to feel like he had grown into the very stones. They had found him wandering the shallows below the cliffs one stormy morning, soaked to the skin and clinging to a piece of broken timber. His mother's lifeless body had washed up nearby later that day. Nobody in Ravenshire wanted a half-drowned orphan in their home. He was a reminder of tragedy and bad luck. The lighthouse keeper, old Tomas, had taken him in not out of kindness but necessity. He needed an apprentice and had no sons of his own. William hadn't complained. At first he was grateful for the bed, the meals, and the sense of belonging, even if it was to a man who seemed as weathered and brittle as the driftwood along the shore. But the older he grew, the more the walls of his world pressed in. He wanted something, adventure, answers, or maybe just a life that wasn't timed by the turning of the lantern and the shifting of the tides. He exhaled slowly, letting his eyes close. The wind tasted of salt, and the cries of gulls were distant and half forgotten in the roar of the sea. When he let his mind wander, the ocean became something else entirely. Sometimes he could almost hear it speaking, a low, wordless murmur that thrummed in his bones. He didn't dare tell anyone that. People in Ravenshire were simple, careful folk, and the church of the one God loomed over their lives like a great shadow. Magic was forbidden, heresy punishable by death. And yet